Hello, and welcome to the Talkin Ball podcast. My name's Jack,
I'm Keaton.
and we are starting an OKC Thunder podcast called Talkin Ball. This is episode 1. Um, we're going to talk all things Thunder, as well as some just general NBA ball talk. We got a lot of fun ideas planned. Keaton and I have been friends for a few years now. We went to Oklahoma State together and recently graduated, and we're huge Thunder fans. And we talk ball a lot. So a few times we've just said, what if we just record when we talk ball and make it into a podcast? And recently we kind of took that idea a little more seriously, and here we are. So we enjoy doing like trivia games, and we're planning to do some predictions and stuff as the season is getting closer. But yeah, we have a lot of fun ideas planned, and we're hoping everyone likes the show, and we'll see where it goes.
Boom.
Yeah,
Let's talk
so
ball.
let's talk ball. Um, Today, we had a few ideas planned of just general Thunder talk. We're going to kick it off with a little trivia game. A few times we've made these games. What do we call them? Like
This one's the common stat game current Thunder.
common stats. Yeah, that's a
Common
catchy.
stat game current Thunder.
Yes. On my file, I have it called one number, two stats.
I like
So
that better.
either one, whatever you prefer. But basically, um, we each came up with 5 numbers. All right. The number applies to 2 different stats. So, for example, um, say my number was 0, and my 2 stats were Russell Westbrook's jersey number and Alex Ducas's career points in the NBA. Then I would tell Keaton, all right, the first one is Alex Ducas's career NBA points. And if he guessed 0 after I said that, he would get the full amount of points. How many for that?
Aren't we doing the amount of points away from the answer
Oh,
if you get
yes.
enough points?
Okay. He would get 0 points if he gets it exactly correct. Because you don't want points in this game. You're going to get the amount of points you are away from the correct answer. Now, if he had said, after learning Alex Ducas' career points and Russell Westbrook jersey number, if he had said like 8, then he would get 8 points. And you don't want points here. We're playing golf. So, did I explain that well? Does that make sense?
Yep. Perfect.
Okay.
And I think we'll just give like the 2 stats up front
Okay.
instead of just one at a time.
Both stats up front. In the past, we've played like where I give 1, and then if he gets a bonus if he gets it with only knowing 1 stat. But today we're doing maybe we'll do that another time. But today we're doing you get both stats up front, and then you get the amount of points you are away from the stat.
And do we just want to alternate?
Yeah, we'll go back and forth. So we each have 5, and then we'll total up our number at the end, and we'll find out who the winner is. So, do you wanna answer first, or do you wanna ask me first?
I'll kick us off. I'll ask you first.
Okay, I'm a little
All right.
nervous. I don't know what you cooked up over there. But
All right. My first number is Shea's career minutes played in April,
okay.
as well as Caruso's career personal fouls at home.
Oh wow. So this is, I'm assuming, not just in their time with the Thunder, their whole career.
Whole career.
Okay.
Shea career minutes played in
Minutes
April,
in April
and Caruso career personal fouls at home.
at home. Okay. Now I'll walk you through what I'm thinking. Shea has played. He's played um 6 seasons, 5 seasons.
Yeah, his rookie season was 2018, 2019.
18, 19, 19, 20, 20, 21, 22, 23, 20. Okay, 5 seasons. He's played 5 seasons. In 2020, there were no games in April. So he's played 4 Aprils. This was career minutes in April,
Career minutes played in April.
including the playoffs.
Um,
Do you want to fact check?
yeah, let me fact check.
Fact check if that includes the playoffs.
Yeah, because I feel like that's pretty important.
Yeah, that would probably factor into my thinking here. But if it is including the playoffs, he made the playoffs three of no, 2 of those Aprils, one play in. Um, okay, each April probably has an average of 10 regular season games. 10 times 4, 40 games. Plus, okay, I'm going, if it's not playoffs, about 40 games. If it includes playoffs, that adds another probably 10-ish April games. So 50. Did you find that?
I don't think this includes playoffs.
Okay. Most of the times when you're just looking at like career stuff, it's just
Yeah.
looking
Is it
at.
just regular season?
I think so. So we're assuming just regular season. So I'm gonna go off the fact that it's probably about 40 games. One of those seasons was significantly less minutes because he was on the Clippers. So, my guess is we're somewhere around 1,400. Wait, um, that might be a lot.
Yeah, can I help you out with a ballpark, or you don't want a ballpark?
You can let me think a little bit. Caruso career fouls at home. He's probably averaging about 3. He's played, I don't know how many seasons he's played. I'm not gonna try to do a bunch of math with that one. Hmm, that makes me think it's lower actually. So my new ballpark guess is about 800. I'm gonna just, I mean, there's no way I'm getting this exactly right at all or really close. So I'm just gonna throw out a ballpark guess of 828. Final answer.
Final answer 828.
Yep.
The correct answer is 341. And here's why. He
Oh
was
wow.
he was hurt most of April's. He's only
Oh my gosh.
he's only played in April 3 seasons of his 6 NBA seasons.
Oh wow.
And so that's also confirmed not playoffs.
Okay.
He's only played in 11 April games
Oh my goodness.
in the regular
That was
season.
that was way off. That might have tanked my whole game right there, but that's okay.
Yeah, it was like 4 one season, 4 another season, and then 3 this season.
He was hurt a lot of towards the end of the season, or he missed some games towards the
So
end of
let's
the season.
828 minus 341. That gets you on the board with 487 points.
Wow, that's probably going to be more than you get this whole game. But maybe I'll win the next time we play this. Okay. All right. For your first number, stat one, Usman Zhang, 2 pointers made last season, so 23-24, the whole season. Okay. Stat number two, the percent of minutes Isaiah Joe has played at the point guard position in his 2 years with the Thunder, according to Basketball Reference.
Wow.
So,
All right. So it's going to be in between 1 and 100.
yes, zero, zero and 100, maybe.
Right. It's going to be between 0 and 100.
Yep.
And I'm going to say that it's not going to be near 100.
Yeah, I guess I gave you a little hint with it being a percentage.
Usman wasn't a real super scorer last season.
He spent some
So,
time in the G League as well.
oh, is this counting
No,
G?
no, 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 no. This
Oh,
is Thunder, but I'm just saying that might factor into your thinking here.
that's true. Usman, I mean, I'd say he probably made like a good, like I'm in the ballpark of like the 20s and the 30s, I think.
Okay.
I'm gonna go he made 25 buckets.
Oh my goodness. You are 3 off.
Boom.
28. Usman Jang made 28 2 pointers this season. And
Wow.
Isaiah Joe has played 28% of his minutes at point guard, which is kind of surprising. That's a little high, I would think. Seems like he's mostly on that wing, but I mean, basketball reference. That's a lot of that can be subjective. But all right, you're winning so far. It seems
It's,
like
it's anybody's game. It's 3 to 487. But
you
we've
can't
got
have a comeback if you're winning. You know.
that's right.
All right.
All right. This next stat is Usman Jang career stocks on Friday.
On Fridays.
Yes.
Wow.
Uh, and
If I
then
were to guess, he's played about 10 Friday games. But what's the next one?
Dort's career field goals made in games where he has played less than 10 minutes.
Wow. How did you find these stats?
Yeah.
Okay. Career field goals made in games he's played less than 10 minutes.
Yep.
Okay, I think that would mean a lot of his just rookie season. Though even then he was playing a lot. So there's not many of those games, I would think. And then Usman Jing Friday buckets.
I mean, he's a known Friday guy.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, this has got to be under. Okay, if he made 28 2 pointers last season, I have a feeling he made more than that the previous season. Now I'm gonna go with he's made about 80 field goals in his career. Divide that by 7, we're at like 13, 14, I don't know, somewhere in there. And that would make sense for Dort made shots when he's made less than or had played less than 10 minutes because I just don't think that's that many games that's happened. But that's
Career steals and blocks combined on Friday.
steals and blocks.
Yes, we're talking stocks.
I forgot about that. Okay, I was thinking made shots. Okay, steals and blocks.
Steals and blocks combined
I still don't think that's
on Friday.
I still think that's pretty low. Probably lower than made shots. Definitely.
Yeah.
Um, wow, I completely don't know why I was thinking made shots. Okay. I'm going to go with 10.
You're not too far off. The answer is 0. Usman Jang has never had a steal or block on Friday, as well as Dort has never made a field goal in games where he's played less than 10 minutes.
Wow.
So it's pretty
That
good.
was tricky. I didn't know we were
Yes.
pulling out tricks here.
Dort is 0 for 7 shooting in games where he's played less than 10 minutes, and he's only played like 9 games.
Oh my.
Usman has logged a lot of Friday minutes and has never got a steal or a block.
Wow. Is that like unusual, or does he just not do that on any day, or is he just
I mean, that's pretty unusual for a Friday.
or is he just really bad on Fridays, or just
He-
real bad
yeah.
every day?
Let me
Wow.
bring it up because this is pretty interesting.
Okay, let's see.
Um, yeah, let's see.
This is the
His
deep dive we needed today.
Usman has played 89 minutes over 9 Fridays,
And no steals.
no steals or blocks.
Wow.
Whereas on Sundays, he's played 13 Sundays and he has 9 steals and 6 blocks.
Oh my goodness. Wow. Now, those are just stats you don't hear many people talking about, but they should. I need to look into that. Is there any is there any correlation there
On
that would
Fridays, bet the Usman's under on stocks.
All right, you ready for number 2?
Ready.
All right. Stat number 1. Alex Caruso's career dunks.
All right.
Stat number 2. Thunder team rebounds. February 27th, 2024 at Houston.
Wow.
All right.
Thunder team rebounds
Yep.
at
Total
Houston.
rebounds by the team in that game at Houston.
All right. I think for a game like I don't know what the normal rebound rate of a game would be, like maybe in the 40s, 50s. Um, maybe. But Caruso dunks.
Yep.
I'd say Caruso probably has like, I mean, I would tend to think that he would have more than 40 dunks. I mean, I feel like I've seen a lot of dunk highlights. Um, my final guess is going to be 65.
Not a bad guess. You were 10 off. It was 55. But
All right.
you were in the ballpark.
We both logged 10 points in round 2.
All right. That makes it 13 to.
497.
All right. All right.
All right. But there's still time to catch up.
Right.
All right. This one is Kenny Hustle career 3-point field goals made.
Okay.
And Shea career field goals attempted against Utah.
All right. Divisional opponent. We play him a lot. He's probably played against Utah. I would guess like 17 times. And I bet he probably averages 14, 15 shots. So that puts us in the 200, 250 range. Can you repeat the other criteria there?
It's Kenny Hustle career 3-point field goals made.
Okay, well that ballpark seems about right. I'm gonna tend a little lower just because
How many times did you guess that he's played against Utah?
I think 17.
16. Pretty
Wow,
close.
wow. Okay, so I'm gonna tend a little lower just because I don't think Kenny's made that many. I'm gonna go with 180.
The answer's 276.
Oh, darn. That's another 96
That's
points I didn't need right now.
another 96 points.
Wow. Wow. People just probably think I don't even watch this team now. But that's okay.
Well, I
I mean,
don't.
these are very specific.
Yeah, yeah. You shouldn't have these tattooed on you.
I might.
The loser has to get one of these stats tattooed on them, though.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that.
That's part of it.
All right, you ready for number three?
I am ready.
All right. I win a little against the rules here. I included a past Thunder player. Is that all right?
It's perfect.
Okay. All right. Number one, we got Lance Thomas minutes with the Thunder.
All right.
You remember Lance, right?
Yeah, I actually have his jersey.
Perfect. Then you should know this.
Yeah, I
All right.
wore it
Number
today.
two. Number two, which is crazy that this is the same number. It's awesome, actually. But so Lance Thomas minutes with the Thunder, and then Isaiah Hartenstein and Aaron Wiggins combined weights in pounds.
All right.
Add them up.
Hartenstein's probably 250. Wiggins is probably 230. So right off the bat, I'm going 480.
Okay. So final answer? Or
Final answer is going to be 480.
480. All right, you were 30 off. The number was 450 there.
Sheesh.
Hartenstein's 250. You were right about that. And then Wiggins is 200.
Oh, yeah. I was way off on Wiggs.
But
Sorry, Wiggs. If he's an avid listener of the pod,
he'll forgive you.
don't mean to call you fat there. All right. Next, AJ Mitchell field goal attempts his junior year at UC Santa Barbara.
Okay, I don't think I had that one off the dome. I'll probably need to hear the next one.
J-Dub weight in pounds.
Oh, another weight. Okay, well the weight's helpful because it gives me a range at least.
Right.
I doubt he's 300 pounds.
Yeah, definitely not.
I doubt he's 100 pounds.
No.
So it's somewhere in between there, I would guess. AJ Mitchell field goals his junior year attempted, right?
Yep.
Okay, I'm gonna go 220.
Not far off. It was 195 according to Basketball Reference,
Whoa,
which seems a little slim for the J-Dub,
that
but
might have been before the muscle gain of last offseason.
should we fact check that with new weight?
New weight.
I want to give you a fair point evaluation here. Let's see what ESPN has him listed as.
Either way, I missed the AJ Mitchell field goals, but I wasn't really basing my answer off of that one. I guess.
What did you guess? 225 or 220?
I think so.
ESPN has him at 211.
Oh wow.
Boom. We'll compromise. You get
Not like it'll matter, but I'll take all the points I can get.
you get 9 points.
Perfect. Thank you. Okay. Next one for you. Um, Lou Dort's career high in rebounds.
Wow.
Wow, that'll make you think. All right. And then J. Will total assists in the Mavericks series.
Wow.
Kind of funny that
Wow.
they're the same number.
Kind of crazy that these are the same number.
I mean, what are the odds? Do you think they planned that?
Let's see. Dort, career high in rebounds.
Yep.
Can't be that many.
I mean, it's probably under 35.
35, yeah. More than two. Um, J Dub assists. Okay, so there were 6 games.
J. Will. J. Will.
Oh, J Will. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
J Will. There were 6 games. J Will probably had like 1 rebound or 1 assist here, 1 assist there,
Mm-hmm.
2 assists there, 3 assists there. I would say J Will probably had like 8 or 9 assists, maybe 7. Dort doesn't seem like a big rebounder. Give me 7.
You were close. The answer was 11.
Dude.
Yeah. Dort, Dort got on the boards that day.
So I get 4 points.
I bet they did plan that. I bet J. Will went up to the work before game 6 and was like, hey, I really want my total assists in this series to match your career high in rebounds. Like, what's your career high in rebounds? And then Lou was probably like, oh yeah, it's 11. And then Jay was like, all right, I need
He's like,
two tonight, just in case the series ends tonight. But,
I can drop 11 dimes in the span of 6 games,
right.
and I only need like 1 more.
That's fun. All right.
My final common stat game current thunder for you is Chet games started after the All-Star break this past season, aka his career.
Okay.
And Caruso day of birth in February.
Day of birth in February. Okay. So it's probably under 29.
Yep,
It could have been that leap year.
right. The odds of it being a leap year, though.
I mean, Chet started every game after the All Star break. I know that because he
Right.
played every game and he never came off the bench. So um, it's just how many games are after the All Star break? That's more of the question here. I mean, I know it's not the halfway point. It's later. It
Right.
was about 2 months after the All Star break, if even less than probably 6 weeks. You average 3 or 4 games a week. You're probably playing 19 games. I'm gonna go 19.
The answer is 28.
Oh my
Caruso was
goodness.
born on the last day of February. It's another 9 points.
Oh boy. Okay. Okay. Well, I just need you to get how many points on this turn?
Let me pull out my calculator.
You're
You're
currently you're currently at 50.
and you're currently at 611,
Okay, so you need
561 to tie.
61. All right. Good luck.
Perfect.
It all comes down to this. All right. Number 1. J Dub career total offensive rebounds.
Wow.
All right. And then stat number 2, Kenrich Williams career bad pass turnovers.
Wow.
Yeah.
So J-Dub career offensive rebounds?
Yes. And then Kenrich Williams career bad pass turnovers. Not total turnovers, just bad passes.
Bad pass. Bad pass turnovers.
Yep.
I mean, can't be that many. Like I'm thinking in the 20s and 30s or the 570s.
You can always go there.
Um, give me 38.
Um, it was not 38.
Oh,
It was 121.
whoa,
Yeah, that's a
whoa,
lot of bad passes.
121,
121. So that gave you 83 points there.
83.
So you still won by a lot, but that
Whoa,
that brought your total score to 133, and I was at
611.
611. All right, so you won by 478. Good job. Good job.
Wow,
That was a great game.
that was a good game. We'll have to play that again.
We will. We will. All right, you ready for our next segment here?
Next segment.
All right. So, um, our next segment is going to be called Ranking Thunder Players.
Yep.
All of them, ever. All right. Official name right there.
Ranking Thunder players, all of them ever. All right.
Okay. So, we have a list here of every player to ever play for the Thunder. Now, not the Supersonics, just the Thunder. Um, so there's 152 of them. Okay, so some of them will get through quicker than others, but we're just going to gradually get through this. Do a few here, a few there. I think today we're going to start by just covering the guys that played for the team at some point last season. So I think there were 22 of those guys. And we're going to rank them all on 5 categories. So I'm going to share my screen here so we can all follow along. Um, let me get it pulled up. Okay. Can you see
Boom.
this here? You see this?
Yep.
All right. So these are the 22 guys that played for the team last year. In the spirit of the Thunder, let's. Boom. All right. So we're gonna rank everyone on these 5 categories. Okay. Stats. So just generally looking at stats, how you would rank them on a scale of 1 to 10 as a player, just on paper. And then impact on winning. This has some subjectivity to it. So we'll just say, like, if they were kind of a non factor, they'll get a lower rating. If they maybe contributed in some clutch moments or were big parts of big, like, highly successful teams, we'll do that. If maybe they had a negative impact on the team, we'll give them a lower rating. And then personal opinion, scale 1 to 10. Um, maybe just if we really like the guy, if they're just, if we loved watching them as a player, even if they weren't that good. If we were just really excited about them being on the team and had a good overall opinion on them as a player. And then longevity is another category because some guys will go through, like, maybe they were really good, but they were only on the team for a year or two, so we don't want them to kind of boost towards the top of the rankings. And then culture. This has nothing to do with basketball, but we wanted it to kind of play a part in how we rank these guys. And so just their vibe with the team, their vibes, their fit as a person and everything like that. So, um, we'll rank them all on a scale 1 to 10 on each of these categories. And then here we'll have an average score of all of them. And then once we're finished, we'll have a full ranking of everyone from first to last of kind of as a player all around. These are the best Thunder guys of all time. So, do you want to kick it off here?
Yep. And are we rating them like 1 through 10 or 1 through 5?
1 through 10 on all of these.
And then do I give mine and you give yours and we average that out, or are we just trading off?
I think we can kind of just come to a consensus together.
Okay. Let's see. Bertans, uh, he
Yeah,
really didn't really get much of an opportunity for us last season.
yeah. He was only on the team that year. Played in 15 games, 91 minutes, almost 3 points, under 1 rebound, 38 from the field, 42 from three though. So
Yeah, I think he kind of just did his job when he was needed to be in. I think he was kind of a defensive liability for what it was. But overall stats, maybe like a 4.
sure, yeah. Those are some stats. All right. Impact on winning. Um, I mean, I don't think he was really ever in during crucial moments. He didn't have a bad impact um, because he was on a winning team. They won a lot of games that he played, but again, I just kind of think he got in towards the end when games were decided a lot of times. So maybe another 4.
Do you have a favorite Davis Bertans memory from last season?
Um, I mean, all 10 of these threes he made were fun. I don't have a favorite, I don't think, but they were always exciting when he put up the long ball.
I was in person at the Mavs game December 2nd, and I have it pulled up here. He shot 3 for 3 from three,
Oh my gosh, I
6 from 6 from the free throw line, and helped
forgot.
us to. That was the game that we withstood the 30-point run from the Mavericks
Yes,
in the fourth. So shout
yes,
out Davis.
that was a great game. A great,
Personal opinion of Davis, he might be another 4 for me.
sure,
Like I just think it's kind of mid city all the way around.
right. I wish he panned out a little better, but um, and played a bigger role. But I was really pleased with that trade and everything that came from it.
Yeah, for sure.
Longevity, I mean, 15 games. I'm gonna give him a 2.
Right. Yes. I agree with a 2.
Okay. Culture, you wanna go for culture?
Um, I think this past season he was a little bit of a fish out of water with our young guys.
Yeah.
I don't think he necessarily has like a confident leadership presence in the locker room either. So I think like as far as like I think he is a good guy overall, but I don't necessarily think he's like a big Oklahoma City culture guy. So I think maybe like a 5.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
don't think he hurt the culture.
Right. Okay. So based on that, Davis is a 3.8 total.
I think that's fair.
Yeah. Okay. So we can move on to Bismack Biombo. He played just this one season. He appeared in 10 games. He shot 58%. That's 7 of 12. Um, averaged almost 2 points and 2 rebounds in about 7 minutes a game. So those stats, I mean, we weren't really asking for a lot from him. We just kind of were getting another veteran presence. We had some open roster spots. and it couldn't hurt to just add a little size in case we needed it. And but we didn't really need him that much, and so he kind of just came in when he needed to, and um, yeah, he didn't do anything to hurt us or anything. But I mean, based on those stats, I think I'm going to give him a 2.5.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
would agree. In the grand scheme of stats, it's pretty doo doo.
right, right. Yeah.
Impact on winning, I think he did not have any impact on winning. I think the only time he saw the court was if we had already won or if we were down by 30.
Right.
So I'll give him like a 2.
Two. That works.
And that might be generous.
Personal opinion. Um, I like Busy. Um, he seems like a great, solid guy, and he's fun. And it was he had some great moments with the Raptors in the playoffs, which was fun to see him get paid and everything. Oklahoma City made a documentary about him, and
Right.
that was solid and gave great insight into who he was. And so overall, I love the guy. And yeah, I'm gonna give him an 8.
Did you watch that doc?
Yeah, it
I
was
haven't
great.
gotten the chance yet.
Yeah, you need to check it out. Everyone needs to check it out. It's short and it was well done and really shows that he's a real likable guy. So,
Maybe that would boost my personal opinion rating.
would you not give him an 8?
I, I, I don't know. Maybe to be continued. Longevity, uh, a 1. Let
That's
let's
fair.
let's be real here.
That's fair. Okay, and then culture. He's the guys seemed to like him. He wasn't there very long, but he seemed to be having fun with everybody. Everyone wanted to make sure he was okay when he fainted in the timeout. Um, I think they got a bark out of him.
Yeah, I believe they did.
Okay, so I'm gonna give him a 6. Boom! That puts him point 0.1 ahead of Davis.
Bismack
So
Biyombo is the current best Thunder player of all time.
he is our current front runner at a 3.9. All right, maybe it'll go up from here. You wanna kick us off on Adam Flagler's stats? He played just this past season so far, but he's still on. He he got a 2-way with us still, right?
Let's see.
If not, he might just be on the blue. Might get called up sometimes. But this past season, he played 2 games, 14 minutes, shot 14% and one of 7. Um,
Yeah, but he's still
average.
with us.
Okay, he averaged a point and a half and 2 assists. How do you want to rank those stats?
Adam Flagler's stats to me, it's a 1.
I mean, not everyone can be high, you know.
Yeah, not everybody can
But
beat Davis Bertans.
right, but he's got room to improve. So impact on winning. I don't think he played any time where the game was in question of who was going to win.
He played in that Spurs game. Remember when we were were sitting down there by
Yes,
Grant
yeah,
Gibbs' girlfriend?
yes, he did play. I think once we got up by a good 40 or something, right?
Yep. Shout out Grant Gibbs' girlfriend.
Yep. Um, yeah, but Flagler's one make I think was in that game. We got
Yep.
to we got to be lower level to witness that, but I'm still going to give him a 1.5 impact on winning because I would give him a 1, but that point 0.5 comes from his impact on the Oklahoma City Blue winning the G League Finals.
Way to go, Adam.
Yep.
I could be wrong, but I think his other game was in like the 41-point win against the Wizards.
Yes, that sounds right.
I was also there for that. I'm a big Flagler guy. He likes to play when I'm there. Personal opinion of Adam. I don't really feel like I have one.
That's fine.
Like, um, yeah, I think I like him,
Yeah, I
but
don't dislike him.
can I just do a personal, like a neutral, like a 5?
5 words. Sure. Maybe that'll go up. And then longevity. Um, 14 minutes. So I think I have to go 1
That's fair.
because he played less than Bismack, who we gave a 1 to, but that could go up because he's still with us.
Culture, I think, I think the team loves Adam.
Oh yeah.
I think he's a good culture guy. He's a great guy to have in the locker room with the young guys. Give him a 6.
Okay. All right. Adam Flagler got a 2.9 on our scale. Okay. Up next we have Legend Gordon Hayward, Thunder Legend. Um, he played 26 games with us, all after we acquired him at the trade deadline. 447 minutes. He shot 45% from the field, 51.7 from three, which is impressive, but only on 29 attempts. And he averaged 5.3 points, 2.5 rebounds, an assist and a half in 17 minutes. So for stats, now that doesn't include the playoffs when he um, was a little hesitant to shoot, but I'm gonna go 5 on stats. Um, he was okay. He didn't shoot bad, but we all just wanted him to shoot more. Was the thing. It was
Right.
just
Like his percentages were there.
right. It was just such a weird time, and we expected so much more out of him for him to have a bigger role and everything. But for some reason, his tendency was always to pass. So
Impact on winning. To me, Gordon wasn't ever like a winning player for us. I think he was mostly like a placeholder that you put in while a player gets rest, and then you can take Gordon out. He didn't shoot the ball. It felt like when he was in the game, it was like a 4-on-5.
mm-hmm.
Um, he defended at times, but like his impact on winning was overall like lackluster. I think maybe like a 3.
3. Okay. Personal opinion. I mean, I've always liked Gordon Hayward. Um, I mean, he was really fun when he was with the Jazz in those years when he was kind of the guy with them and in his college days. And I always rooted for him, and I hated to see him go down with that injury and everything. But then when he came to the Thunder and had just such that weird experience with us, and then kind of blamed Thunder organization and coaching and everything for the weird role and everything, that just kind of affected how I thought of him a little bit. But overall, I don't have anything against him. Um, but I guess I'm gonna go with like a 3.5, just because
Yeah.
it was just such a weird time, and I mean, I probably would have handled things differently if I was answering some of those questions he had answered, but that's okay.
Longevity. We've had some 4 pretty bad longevity players to start this one off.
Mm,
I'm gonna go with a 1,
yeah,
just because I mean we've seen the end of it. So 26 games I think deserves to be a 1,
right. And then he retired.
which is
So
funny because looking back on these Davis Bertans rankings, I'm like Davis Bertans a 4 impact on winning.
should we lower that a little bit?
Yeah, let's nerf Davis Bertans impact on winning to like a
2.5.
2.5.
And maybe a stats,
Stats
3.
3.
Okay. Updated Davis Bertans as a 3.3. Okay. So culture with Gordon Hayward, he just kind of seemed disinterested in being a part of the team, and kind of a team player. Um, he made it clear that he didn't really get along with his coaches. And, I mean, I don't think the players disliked him or anything, but we didn't really see much of that. I think they got a bark out of him as well, but
Yeah.
it was a hesitant bark, but it happened. But as far as culture goes, I don't know who will be able to say that fit in much worse than he did. So I think I'm gonna give him a 3, just because he didn't like throw off the vibes. Like he didn't make
Yeah.
it worse for people, but it was just kind of a weird situation all around. So that puts Gordon at a 3.1, which
Yeah,
is a little disappointing because we expected more from that.
I agree. I think he kind of came in and uh, wanted to have a bigger role than what was meant to be, and I think that kind of led to some conflict. But overall, I think that his leadership in the locker room was probably worthy of a 3. Like,
Yeah,
gives him some cred.
yeah, yeah. All right. Next up, we have Chet Holmgren. Um,
Wow.
nice to be talking about someone that played a little more and has it's going to be part of our future and things like that. But he's been with the team for 2 years. Just played this 1 year so far. Played all 82 games. Shot 53% from the field, 37 from three. 16 and a half points and 8 rebounds. Um, and 2.5 assists and almost 2.5 blocks in a little over 29 minutes per game. So you can kick us off with a stat rating.
I think he was awesome. He had a great rookie season. One of the best Thunder rookies of all time,
Mm-hmm.
I would say. Um, in the grand scheme of stats of all time Thunder players,
Right.
like I think he had like probably 8.
Yeah.
There's
I
always
like
room
it.
for improvement on. I mean, how awesome to start at an 8 your rookie season.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I love that. And like there will be some guys that are a 9 or a 10, and I think Chet can get there as well. So, but 8 as a rookie, like you said, is crazy. So, impact on winning. Um, I mean, like so many people have said, when you consider the difference between our 2023 team and our 2024 team, like he was the main piece that was added, obviously, and that made us go up. I believe it was 15 wins and made the playoffs and won a series and almost and looked competitive in another one. So impact on winning, like just he changed the way we were able to play. Um, just having a 5 out offense and um, forcing teams to have to match that and figure out how to defend that. And so even more than just who he is as a player and the stats he puts up, he's just such a unique kind of player that can change the way we're able to play, and that um, contributed to a lot of success for the team. So I'm going to give him a 9 on this impact on winning, if that works for you.
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay.
Personal opinion, I think Chet is awesome.
Yeah.
Um, he's all around good guy. He seems from day one to really like Oklahoma City and be committed to the city as well as the team. Um, you can always see him out and about in the city. I mean, we had a friend that saw him at Target this weekend. So I don't know. It just he's a good. I think he's a good guy. in general. So I think he's really high on my personal opinion meter. I'm gonna go 9.
Boom. We love Chet. All right, longevity. I mean, obviously he's just played one season. He just finished his rookie season, but I mean, he's a core part of the Thunder's future plans. We plan to hopefully keep him around for a long time, but I guess as of right now, we can't rank him super high on the longevity just because, I mean, he's just done it for 1 year. Um, but these rankings can change in the future. But as of now, I'm going to give him like a, I mean, even he's even played a lot more than these other guys that have just played one season. So I'm going to give him like a 4 because he was able to do it for 82 games and he was around the team his first year, even though he didn't play. Still contributing in a lot of ways off the court then.
Culture for Chet. I don't know that it gets more like there's not a better culture guy for the Thunder than Chet, like almost. I think he embodies what this team is about. I think he is the core foundation of what we're building around. Like he's part of that. Um, yeah, I think Chet earns our first 10.
Boom. I love
He
it.
he is a 10 on the culture.
All right. That puts Chet at an 8 overall.
Wow, he's way better than anybody that we've done. Just in time for us to get to Keontae Johnson.
Just in time. All right. Keontae Johnson. He played. We can start moving through some of these guys a little quicker, but he played just this one season. Played in 9 games, 66 minutes, 31 from the field, averaged 1 and 1 in 7 minutes. So based on those stats, I'm going to give him a 1 on stats. Love the guy.
I don't think Keontae had really any impact on winning. I'm also going to go with a 1.
Okay. And then personal opinion, I like Keontae. Um, I've always enjoyed hearing about his story. I was really pleased when we drafted him. Um, I've heard great things about him as a person, and it's been amazing to see all the things he's persevered to get to this point. Um, and I liked him as a player in college, even though he kind of dominated against OSU a few times when he was at K State. But it was really fun to see him with in that deep run they made to the Elite Eight and everything. And so I've always liked him, and I always support Big 12 guys, especially. So I mean, I'm going to give him like a 6.
Longevity 1.
Yep,
He left for Charlotte. Like,
we will miss him.
yes.
But culture, I think he was a fine guy. I don't. I mean, he was going back and forth from the Blue and the Thunder all year, as two way guys do. But it seemed like everywhere he goes, people have a generally positive view of him, and so I'm going to give him like a 5.5. So that puts him at a 2.9. Seems pretty fair. Okay, and then next up we have Vasilije Micic. Another kind of weird situation. We had his draft rights for a while, and after trading for them from Philly in the Al Horford trade, and then finally he agreed to come over and sign with us in last off season. But he only was with us for 30 games before, or he played in 30 games before we traded him in that Hornets deal at the trade deadline. But in those games, he averaged a little over 3 points, 2.5 assists in 12 minutes a game, and kind of played a little bit of a backup point guard role at times. But what do you want to give him on stats?
Yeah, so I think his stats it was kind of the tale of two different kind of parts of the season for him because I think when he was first coming over from the EuroLeague, it kind of took a little bit for him to kind of adjust to the NBA. And I think that reflects in his 3-point shooting, which
Hmm.
Am I seeing that right? That was like 24.4%.
Yeah, 20.
Like that is pretty uh, not ideal for the EuroLeague MVP. But I
Right.
feel he helped us a lot facilitating the ball around when
Yeah.
we haven't had like a backup point guard that can effectively do that necessarily. And
Yeah.
so I thought that he was kind of just getting his feet under him at the time at the trade deadline. And so um, overall stats, Facilier, let's give him a 3.5.
Okay. Yeah. Impact on winning. I mean, I think he was helpful towards the end of his time with us, and that's why I was kind of surprised he was involved in that trade. Like it seemed like he was
Yeah.
starting to become a piece of our team and our rotation, and was, like you said, a good facilitator. And um, so I think during his time, he had about a four on our impact on winning. I mean, he wasn't a make or break or anything, but he was helpful, and that veteran leadership and experience showed through his progression throughout his time with us.
Yep. Personal opinion on Micic, I really liked Micic, especially one thing that kind of boosted my personal opinion of him is when we drafted uh, Topic, and Topic came in and he said that Vasilier was one of the first people to kind of reach out to him and talk highly of the Thunder organization. So I really appreciated that about Micic. So, and I mean, is he the first Thunder player to wear braces?
He very well could be.
Do you have that stat on you?
I don't, but does that
Um,
does that raise your personal opinion?
yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
it raises it to 7.
7. Wow. I like it. And then longevity. If you include the time where we had his draft rights and he was playing in the Euro League, that would boost him a little bit. But I don't think we are. So, I mean, 30 games. I mean, not very high. I'm going to give him like a 1.5 on longevity. I wish he was with us a little longer.
Yeah, me too.
But then again, financial reasons, I'm kind of glad it worked out that way. Just to kind of get his salary off and allow for us to make other moves this offseason.
Culture. Um, I don't really think he was like a big culture guy. I think the best part about adding him to the culture was giving Poku a Serbian
Buddy.
best buddy. Um, so I don't think he hurt the culture. So I'm just gonna give him a 5.
Okay. I like him, but that's fair.
He's the
So that put
second best Thunder player of all time currently.
wow, that puts Mitsic at a 4.2. So right now our top three are Chet at an 8, Mitsic at a 4.2, and then Busy at a 3.9. So next up we have Casey Wallace, rookie. He was great. Also played in all 82 games. Um, in his 20 and a half minutes, he averaged almost 7 points, a little over 2 rebounds, an assist and a half, almost a steal, half a block, shot 49% from the field. Those are great stats from a rookie. I mean, he made all rookie second team. He was a great, I mean, he also shot 42% from three, which is not something I was expecting from him coming into this year. I mean, obviously he's great with the on-ball defense, but strictly on these stats on paper, I'm going to give him a solid like 6.5. And I mean, I'm hoping to see even more improvement from that, which I believe we will see. And so, I mean, from what you expect out of him and what he gave us, he was amazing. So, what do you think on his impact on winning?
Impact on winning. I think Casey Wallace stepped in for a rookie, especially. I thought it was really impressive how he was able to kind of just be plugged in to the uh, the lineup and not really miss a beat.
Yeah.
So uh, I think he had a really positive impact on winning, and to the point where I think he's probably in the 7 range. Yeah, let's give him a 7.
Right. And just even being a guy you could put into a playoff series and in his rookie year and be like, okay, yeah, I want that guy to guard Kyrie Irving. I want that guy to guard CJ McCollum. Guys like that. It's like that's crazy to have that kind of confidence in a rookie like that, and it was very justified too. So I'm really pleased with Kaysen and his future with this team, and even like the 3 point. Like most rookies, it's like they kind of have a slow start. They kind of need to get used to the new 3 point line and used to being in the NBA and everything. And even guys that start off hot, they kind of cool down. And Kaysen cooled down because he started shooting like 100%, but
Right.
cooled down to 43 or 42, and I just didn't think that was going to last all season, and it did. So um, that was great. And so, personal opinion, I love Kaysen. He seems like a great guy. The guys seem to love him. Obviously, a great player. So I'm going to give him an 8 on here.
I agree. Longevity. So I guess that we've established that we're going longevity based on what we've seen so far, not what we can potentially
Right,
see.
right.
Uh,
I mean, Chet got a 4 there.
right. So I think he's going to be a 3.5 then.
Yeah, just because I guess a little less minutes played than Chet, and Chet had that extra year while injured, I guess.
But I feel like in this they're in the kind of the same boat where I could see Chet and Case and Wallace being with us for a long, long, long time.
I hope so. And then Culture just seems like a nice guy, kind of a quiet leader, just kind of does what he needs to do, and guys seem to love him. Um, I mean, everyone's had nothing but positive things to say about him. I'm going to give him an 8 on here. Um,
Yeah, I feel like that's pretty good.
so that brings him to a 6.6. And then next up, we have Usman Zhang. So he just finished his second year with the team. He's kind of gone back and forth from the Blue and Thunder um, both years. He's played in a total of 72 games with the Thunder. And so in those 72 games, he averaged 4.5 points, 2 rebounds, an assist. Not a lot of stocks on Fridays.
Yeah, 0 stocks on Fridays.
And then in 13 minutes a game. A lot of his time was either in games that had already been decided or filling in for when we've been shorthanded or things like that. But what do you want to give him on stats there?
Um, I think we can just call it like we see it. Usman doesn't fill the stat sheet like he, um, like we may have expected when he was drafted. I mean, he's a project player, but he's not necessarily putting numbers out there to be proud of yet. Um, which I think warrants like a 2.
2. I like it. You would hope the 11th overall pick would be a little more than a 2, but I mean, again, with Oos, the thing is, like, nothing has happened with him that was unexpected yet. Um, we drafted him knowing it would take him time. We drafted him as a, what, 18-year-old, 19-year-old.
Right. He was like one of the youngest players in that 22 draft.
Right. Knowing he's a project, and especially bringing him to a team that's already in a spot where we're competing and want to win and have a lot of guys that we need to play and develop. And so it's been great to see him get a lot of run with the blue and spend a lot of time off the court just developing his skills because that's all we expected from him at this point. We didn't expect him to be in his second year playing a big role on a championship contending team. So
Right.
that's why a lot of people are like, "Oh, this sucks. Get rid of him." And yes, the stats aren't great, and we haven't seen much from him to say he's like a great, promising young player or anything. But I think it's just we need to give him some time because everyone involved with the Thunder expected what has happened to happen, and nothing's gone not according to plan yet. And so, hopefully, we do see him make a jump one of these years when he's gotten more developed and can apply that more on the court at the pro level. And so, I hope to see that. But as far as his impact on winning so far, I mean, I'm gonna say a similar range to what you said for stats. I mean, I'm gonna go with like a 2.5 maybe. Just doesn't play a lot in meaningful games so far with the team. Um, and when he is out there, I mean, he is raw, but we just need to give him some time. So, what's your personal opinion on him?
My personal opinion on Usman, like I think he's a nice guy. I think he has all of the physical tools to be a great player. I feel like he's just got to put it together. Um, One of the things that he's missing is, I think, his aggressiveness. So overall, I mean, it just feels like he's got a toolbox full of everything that he needs. He's just got to assemble all of the pieces, and so I think that's why the only thing that's dragging my personal opinion down is it feels like over the 2 seasons that we've seen so far, we should have seen something to tell us, hey, he's figuring it out, or he's making progress. And I really don't think we've seen that. Like maybe it just feels like we also watch a completely different Usman when we see the OKC Blue play.
Yeah.
Like if we could get that sort of Usman, then wow. But overall, personal opinion of him, like a 5.
Okay.
I think I'm relatively neutral, but that's just my opinion on him.
Right. And then longevity, I mean, he's just played his 2 seasons so far, those 72 games. I mean, um, I'm going to give him like a 3.5, I guess. Um, so, I mean, we'll have him a little longer at least. So we'll see. What do you think about culture fit?
Culture fit. Um, he's definitely a quiet guy. Yeah, this might be bold, but I actually just don't really think he fits the Thunder culture all that much. Especially the new age Thunder culture where you get a bunch of funny TikTok trend videos and all of these young players messing around and stuff. I just don't really see Usman. He's a very introverted type of guy from the outside looking in, and so I overall I think his culture score should probably be like a 4.5,
Okay, so that puts him at a total score of 3.5.
just below Bismack.
All right. Next up, we have Isaiah Joe. We should probably move through these a little quicker. But Isaiah Joe has played 2 years after we signed him. After the Sixers cut him before that 2022 season, we signed him on a minimum. But he's played 151 games. Let's see, averaged 8.8 points, 2.5 rebounds, a little over an assist in almost 19 minutes. Shot 45% from the field, 41 from three. So he's great. We love him. He just signed that extension, so I'm glad we get to keep him around um, at a great price, and because he's developed into one of our key role players that are very important to our team. He's been one of the most reliable guys when you just need a guy to knock down a shot, but he's not only a shooter either. Like he can drive. He's not a terrible defender. I mean, compared to some of the other perimeter defenders we have on our team, he's not the best, but in the grand scheme of the league, he holds his own. And so on stats, I mean, compared to what we expected when we just signed him after Philly cut him, and what he's become for us, and the contract he's earned, and the role he's earned for a playoff team, I mean, he's great. And so I'm going to give him on stats alone, I'm going to give him a 6. Um, he's just become such a contributor. So,
Impact on winning, uh, I think he has a huge impact on winning. For I mean, like you mentioned, when we got him from Philadelphia, it just felt like uh, it was kind of a low cost swing with not really a super high ceiling. But then I think as we got to see him play more, the ceiling became astronomically higher than we ever could have imagined it being. And so I think his impact on winning has proven to be really, really large. So I think maybe like a 7.5.
okay, yeah. And then personal opinion, I mean, I feel like we keep saying it, but he seems like a great guy. I mean, that's the thing about the Thunder. They value people and who they are and their character. And all these guys just are really solid people, it seems like, from the outside. And I believe that's true behind closed doors as well. And so, um, yeah, I mean, he seems to get along with everybody. He is always positive, and um, everyone seems to love him. And so, I mean, I think it's fine to go with like a. I mean, as far as my opinion of him as a player, also I've grown to love watching him play and um, shoot the ball and just make the right decision a lot on the court. And so he's become one of my favorite players, and I think I'm going to go with like an 8 here.
Let's see. Longevity, I'm actually gonna I'm gonna give consideration to the extension that was just signed. And
Okay.
so I'll give longevity, let's give him a 5.
Okay.
What do you think about his culture?
Yeah, I kind of talked about him as a person and everything, but yeah, again, everyone seems to like him a lot, and so I'm going to give him an 8 there as well. So that brings him to a 6.9 overall.
Best Thunder player of all time.
No, no, no. Chet's an 8.
Second best.
But I feel like that's a fair rating for who he is and what he's become. So
I agree.
he's next up. We have J Dub, Jalen Williams from Santa Clara. Um, he's played 2 seasons, 146 games. He has averaged 16 and a half points, a little over 4 rebounds, almost 4 assists, almost a steal and half a block in almost 31 minutes. He shot 53% from the field and 39 and a half from three. So, I mean, that is great for. I mean, going into the draft, I didn't know a whole lot about him, and then he had a great rookie year, and he's become one of our three best players and our three most impactful players, and he's a, such a likable guy as well. And yeah, just based on those stats alone, I'm going to give him a 8 with room to grow, and I think he can.
Yeah, impact on winning. I mean, he's amazing. I mean, when we drafted him at 12th in 2022, nobody ever imagined that it could have been this good. Like, he has been so awesome, and he's had a huge impact on winning. I think 9
Yeah,
is he's worthy of a 9 there. He's so awesome.
yeah. And then personal opinion, I mean, I love watching him play. It was so fun to watch him take over a lot of fourth quarters. when Shea doesn't usually start the fourth quarter, so it's nice to see J Dub kind of be the primary ball handler and create shots for himself and others, um, and he's just such a great person, and he's so fun. He kind of, I feel like, brings the team together when it comes to just being a group of friends and having fun while they're doing this. And um, I mean, he's become one of my favorite players, and I'm gonna give him a 9.5 on personal opinion.
I think longevity. I think it's only fair to match the rating that we gave Chet for longevity because I feel like they're in the same uh, timeline.
I
Uh,
mean, I think it's a little fair to give J Dub a little boost just for playing the full 2 seasons.
well, that's fair. Let's give him a let's give him a 5.
Okay. And then culture. I mean, he's just the definition of a culture guy, like a guy you want on your team. Even if he wasn't this great player, like he's just a great guy to have for your locker room and have um, to lead your team in a lot of ways. And I'm going to give him a 10 here as well.
That's a new best Thunder player of all time.
He barely beats out Chet, and I think they're right there with each other in a
Oh
lot
yeah.
of ways. Like people go back and forth all the time on J Dub or Chet, and I guess here with this particular ranking scale, it gives J Dub the edge there. But that's cool to see with an 8.3.
And to get them in the same draft class.
Oh my gosh, sheesh!
Let's move to Jay Will.
Another guy in that draft class. We've had him for 2 years after drafting him in 22, and he's played 118 games. Spent a little time with the Blue his rookie year, but then mostly been up here since then. Um, with the Thunder, he's averaged almost 5 points. He's averaged 4 rebounds, an assist and a half, 15 minutes. Shot 42 and a half from the field and 38 and a half from three. Um, so what do you want to give those stats?
I mean, he had 11 assists in the Maverick series.
Right, those were key.
Those were big. I think stats overall, he like a 6
Okay.
would be pretty good for him.
I mean, if you're just looking at these stats, that's like a fine backup center to have.
Right.
Um, and I think the most impressive part has been the 3 point shooting. Just because at Arkansas he took some threes, but he wasn't going into the draft kind of known as a shooter. But I think his ability to kind of add that to his game a lot in the NBA has been impressive. And then as far as stats not included here in our basic stats, there are some things that go his way and some don't. His rookie year, he led the league in charges drawn, which is impressive. But then, if you want to get into a little more of the advanced stats, when Chet was off the court, the Thunder were kind of a big negative rating, um, which a lot of that speaks to how good Chet is, but also speaks to kind of the fact that we need a little more interior presence, which is why we kind of added Isaiah Hartenstein. So I'm excited to see how Jay will kind of adapt to a new role of not being like the guy off the bench, but it's nice to have some other options as well. And I'm excited to see Jay will kind of play with Hartenstein or Chet a little bit this year as well. Impact on winning. I mean, he was a starting center his most of his rookie year um,
Yeah.
when we made that play in push, and then he started that play in game we won. And, I mean, he's a solid player, and he was a great guy to bring in off the bench. You could count on him to make some plays, and I mean, he's not the best player in the world, but we love him, and he was he's been a great contributor for us I'm going to give him like a 6 here.
Personal opinion, I think really highly of Jay Will. Like one of the things that you always notice about Jay Will is that he's always smiling and laughing, and he's a really good teammate even when he's not on the court. Like when he's on the bench, he's always like standing and cheering on his teammates that are out there. Um, yeah, I think really highly of Jay Will, like a 9 on personal opinion.
Yeah. Then longevity. I mean, he's just done it for the 2 years. Um, kind of like these last few guys. And so I'm going to give him a 5 as well because that's what we've given these last few contributors.
Culture, I think Jay Will embodies the definition of a culture guy. He is absolutely somebody that I see the team keeping, even if they don't have minutes for him, just because of his culture impact. And so I think that that definitely warrants a 10 on culture.
I agree. I agree.
He honestly could be the best culture player of all time for the Thunder.
I think he's the best teammate in the league right now.
For sure, for sure.
Yeah. Um, okay, we're going to move on to Josh Giddey. He played 3 seasons with us. Um, he played in 210 games, started most of them, all but the last few playoff games. He averaged 14 points, a little over 7 rebounds, almost 6 assists, almost a steal, half a block. Shot 46.5 from the field, 31 from three, in 29 minutes per game. So, I mean, just looking at these stats, they're not terrible. You would love, I mean, they're definitely not terrible. they're solid just on paper. You'd love these shooting percentages to be a little higher, but it was great to see him get some triple doubles with the team, and I love just his rebounding for his position, his playmaking ability. I mean, he did some good things for the Thunder. Um, it's just, and I think he's a good player. It's just the role he needed to be even more successful. We couldn't provide him with our current roster outside of him. But just given these stats, I'm going to give him a I'm going to give him a 7.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Impact on winning. Um, I think it's really easy to look at Josh Giddey through the lens of what ended up happening at the end of his Thunder tenure, but um, like when you look at his impact on winning, especially like in the 2022 season when he was kind of the guy um, with Shea, his rookie season, he had a really big impact on winning that season. Um, And I think as time went on and we added more like critical players, I think his role kind of got more confusing, um, to the point where in the end it kind of felt like he was dragging our offensive schemes down a little bit. But I think overall in his 3 years with us, he probably had an impact on winning of like a 7.
And then personal opinion, I like him. I mean, it was fun to watch him. I always rooted for him. It was cool to track his stats sometimes, and I think he was like all all the guys were great friends with him, which I mean that's the best indication there of just who he was. I mean, it was cool to see him lead Australia this summer. Um, had some success there. I enjoy his play style, even if it didn't fit the best with us. Um, I think I'm going to give him another 7.
Longevity. Well, his time with us is over. Uh, so I
Yes.
think overall his longevity is probably like a 3.
Okay.
What? Okay, I don't really think that that's fair considering Davis Bertans' longevity was a 2, and he played. 15 games.
Maybe 4.
4. Yeah, I think that's fair.
And I think we should make Davis a 1.
Yeah, I agree. Davis's average has been taking a hit.
He's taking hits over here. Okay, culture. I mean, Josh Giddey seemed to fit in great. He was always a stand-up guy. He was very professional in interviews, even since he was a young rookie. He kind of embodied what it meant to be a Thunder guy on and off the court. I think he was really loved by everybody. Um, I think I'm going to give him a 9 here.
Yeah, I agree.
So that puts him at a 6.8.
Do you want to speed run Trey Man, Olivier Sarr, Lindy Waters?
Yes, let's do that. Okay, Trey Mann played 3 seasons, 140 games, 8.5 points in 19 minutes, and shot 40%. So those stats. Is it your turn? Yeah, your turn.
Stats. 4.
Okay. I'm gonna go impact on winning. I mean, he kind of had his biggest roles when we weren't really a winning team, but I don't. That's not his fault. Kind of unfortunate he couldn't develop a big role when we became a winning team. So I'm gonna give him another 4. I think.
Personal opinion, I like the guy. Let's go 7.
Okay, longevity. I mean, he played 3 seasons. Um, but I guess not as many games as Giddy here. So I guess it's only fair to give him a 3.5.
Culture, I think he was a great culture guy. Let's give him a 7.5.
Okay. I love Trey Man. That was a sad one when we had to see him go.
Yeah, that was definitely a hard goodbye.
All right, and then Olivier Sarr also played 3 seasons, back and forth with the Blue. He was on a lot of two-way contracts. He played 46 games with the Thunder, almost 5 points, 3.5 rebounds, 14 minutes, 56 from the field. And so those stats, I mean, a lot of those weren't in very meaningful times. I'm going to go with a 3.
Impact on winning. Sarr really, I think, kind of fell in the Bismack Biombo range where he.
Actually, I'm going to give that a 2.
Yeah, I'm gonna go 2.5 on impact on winning.
Okay, and then personal opinion, I like him. It was fun to watch him with the Blue. Seems like a good guy. Feel for him with the Achilles rupture. That was sad to see. Um, but I don't have a strong opinion on him as a player. So I'm gonna give him like a 4.5.
Longevity. Let's see. Played 3 seasons, 46 games. Let's give him a 2.5.
Okay, and then culture. I mean, it seemed like he got along with everybody, but I mean, only spent 46 games with the Thunder, and um, I'm gonna give him like a 5. So that puts him at a 3.3.
Lindy.
Lindy time. Um, Lindy played 3 seasons with the Thunder, 104 games, 12 minutes per game, 5 points, 2 rebounds, shot 41.6 from the field, 37 from three. Some of that time was on a two-way, a lot of time on the Blue. Then he earned himself some real contracts with the Thunder. So, um, you go stats.
Stats, I think he probably gets like a 3.
Okay. An impact on winning. I'm going to give him a 3 there also because he played some time when we were like he was actually a part of the rotation when we were. Now that I think about that, I'm going to give him a four because he was part of the rotation when we were making that play and stretch.
Right. Personal opinion, OSU Cowboy.
Oh yeah.
I feel like he has pretty awesome Oklahoma roots,
Hmm.
um, which definitely boosts my personal opinion of him. I think to like a 7.
Yeah. And then longevity. I mean, for being a guy that kind of wasn't looked at by any other team, then going to playing 104 games and being a part of the rotation at times. I mean, that's impressive. And so I'm going to give him a 3.5 here.
Let's see, culture. He's a big culture guy. Like I said, big Oklahoma guy. Played for OSU, played for the Enid Outlaws, played for the Thunder, um,
Norman North High School.
Norman North High School.
Yep.
I think he gets like a 7.5 on culture.
Yeah. Okay, that gives him a 5. Okay, now we're to Aaron Wiggins. 3 years, 198 games. Drafted him in 21 with the 55th pick. Um, he's averaged 19 minutes, a little over 7 points, almost 3 rebounds. Shot 51% from the field, almost 40 from three. And so those are great stats. He's become a guy that's went from the 55th pick to earning a second contract and being one of the most efficient players shooting in the league and being a really impactful player on a winning team. So as far as stats go, I'm going to go with a 7 here, or a 6.5.
Impact on winning. Aaron Wiggins, I think, has a pretty big impact on winning. He was one of our best role players this past season. He is one of the best 55th picks of all time.
Right.
Um, Overall, let's give him a 8.
Well, personal opinion, I love the guy. He seems fun. He saved basketball. Um, he's real professional. I love seeing him succeed on the court. He's a great player to watch. It's You always feel good about him coming in and filling any role he needs to and putting up any shot he needs to. And so I'm going to give him an 8 on personal opinion.
Let's see. Longevity. He is the last standing player in our 2021 draft class.
Yep.
So I feel like that deserves some longevity boost. Let's
I just got
see.
that contract.
Uh, yeah, let's give him a yeah. Geez, let's give him a 6.
Highest longevity score yet. All right. Culture. I mean, who doesn't love him? He's friends with everybody. He seems like a great culture fit. I'm going to give him a 9.5,
Yeah, that's a really
which,
good average score.
yeah, gives him a 7.6, which I think is third. Yeah, third after Chet and Jado. So, um,
Deserve.
next up, next up we have Thunder legend Poku, Alexei Pokushevsky. We drafted him in 2020 in the first round. He's no longer with the team. He had a little stint with the Hornets, and now he's back home. So good for him. He played 4 years for us, 150 games, in 20.6 minutes. He averaged 7.5, 4.7 rebounds, 2 assists, shot a great 39% from the field and 30 from three. What do you get those stats?
Um, he's kind of in an Usman boat for me. A
Yeah,
tad better.
I mean, these stats might have gone inflated from his role when we were trying to be bad.
Right, that 2020-21 season.
Yeah.
Um, so I'll give it like a let's give it a 3.
Okay. Impact on winning. I mean, the only time he had a big role was when we didn't want to win.
Yeah, that Clippers game.
Yeah, that that was great. Um, he never had a big role when we were actually successful. Um, I think I'm going to give him a 3 there also.
Personal opinion of Poku, I think he's a goofball. I think I'm happy that he's back home. uh, I never really thought that he was like a great draft pick. I didn't really buy into the unicorn hype. Personal opinion's kind of low of Poku, honestly. Like, I feel like he's a good person for sure, but basketball player, not my favorite. Let's go 5.
Okay. Remember when we were there for his triple double?
Yes, Jack and I went to a Thunder game. Let's see, that was the 2021-2022 season,
Yep.
and we played the Suns,
Yep.
and Poku had a triple double. That was,
That
I
was
think
a
that's his
highlight.
only triple double, right?
Oh yeah.
We were
That was.
there.
Yep. Longevity. I mean, great for him for lasting 150 games on the team. Um, I'm going to give him a 4.5.
Culture, I don't think he's a huge culture guy. I think very similar boat to Usman here. Maybe a little better. Let's give him a 5.
Okay. I mean, it's kind of wild that he was on our roster this past season. Like,
Yeah,
that kind
it
of
feels like
pretty
we've been divorced from him forever.
right. He already went through the Hornets and then back home. So, all right. Kenny Hustle, Kenrich Williams. He's played 4 seasons with us. We got him in that Steven Adams trade. Um, he's played 237 games. In 20 minutes per game, he's averaged 7, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, shot 50 from the field, 38.8 from the three. So those are great stats for a role player that you don't really expect much from. I mean, when we traded Steven Adams, we kind of got a group of like 4 just random guys that you didn't really expect to be a big part of your team, and here we are like over 4 years later, and Kenrich is still there and contributing. So um, on those stats, I mean, I'm gonna give him a 6 there. Those are those are kind of solid and all you would ask for from a role player like him. So
Impact on winning, I feel like when he plays is really good. But I think the problem that we ran into last season was like around playoff time, he wasn't really getting a role on the team. Um, so I think that should be taken into account. But overall in his Thunder career, I feel like he's had like a good. It probably should be lower than Giddy's. 6.
good. Personal opinion. I mean, I like him a lot. Seems like a great guy and kind of more quiet, but seems like a good culture guy and everyone likes him. And he's a good veteran leader presence. Um, I mean, it's fun to watch him on the court. I like how he hustles, and um, I like he's a very valuable. He's been a valuable piece to have, just kind of a bigger wing that can kind of do it all, and we can kind of plug him in any situation. And so I'm going to give him a 7 here.
Longevity. He's played in the most games of anybody on this list so far that we've gone through.
Yep.
So I think his longevity should be probably a 6.
Okay. Then culture. I think he's just a great fit and just kind of a guy you want in your locker room. and so I'm going to give him a 8. So that puts him at a 6.6. And now, one change I'm going to make. I'm looking back here. I think Isaiah Joe's stats rating should be a little higher than guys like J. Will and Kenrich Williams.
That's fair.
So I'm going to give him a 7 there. And Giddy is 7.5. Okay. Lou Dort.
Dort.
Wait. Now that I'm looking at some of these stat ratings, I'm like, should Chet just be half a point above Giddy? What if we met Chet and J Dub 8.5?
Boom.
You like that?
I like it.
Okay. Lou Dort, 5 seasons. Got him as an undrafted free agent in the 2019 draft. 292 games, 13 points, 4 rebounds, an assist and a half, a steal, half a block, 29 minutes, 40% from the field, 35 from 3. What do you give his stat rating?
You remember Dort's first ever game?
I don't think so.
Dort's, I think this is a fun fact. This could be wrong, but I think this is right. I can fact check it too. I think Dort's first ever game was the game that Steven Adams threw the full court pass to Dennis Schroeder.
Wow,
That
that sounds right.
that bank shot at the buzzer, then ran into the security guard game.
Right. Was that the Chris Paul telling the refs that someone's
Yes,
shirt was untucked game?
yes, his shirt's untucked. That's a technical foul game.
Yep.
Let me
I
see if,
love
because the reason that I remember that being Dort's first game is him like diving on the loose ball. Yep,
that.
that sure enough, that was exactly his first game on
Yep.
December 6th, 2020 or 2019. Anyway,
That was a great.
that's just a thought that I had. Um, his stat rating, um, maybe like a 7.5.
Okay. Impact on winning. I mean, he's now like this past season. He was a starter for a team that won 57 games, made it to the second round of the playoffs, defended the other team's best player in almost every single one of those games. He's become a really reliable 3-and-D guy. He shoots very well from the corners and is one of the best perimeter defenders in the league. I mean, no matter what we say about Dort, like you can't take those things away from him. I'm gonna go with an 8.5.
Yeah, I really like Dort. My personal opinion on Dort is really high. Um, One of the highlights of Dort to me is like you were talking about his defensive presence, where you could just go out there and uh, he'll just go out there and shut their best player down, like what he did to Brandon Ingram in the Pelican series was otherworldly. Um, so I think a 9 on my personal opinion of Dort.
Yeah,
I love Dort.
and then longevity. I mean, he's played more than anyone on this list so far, and so I think we should give him a 7.
Yeah. Culture. I think he's a huge culture guy. I think he's one of the most important. Like, it's kind of funny because this team is so young that players like him, who are still young in the grand scheme of the NBA, are like veterans for this team. Um, I think he's a huge culture guy. He's kind of a quiet leader too, kind of like you were saying earlier about like Kaysen. But I think he, in his own way, um, is a really positive culture guy. I think he has a really good influence on the culture. I think he's probably a 9.
Yeah, I like that. So now he's currently the second best player on here, right between Chet and J Dub. and or J Dub's first, then Dort, then Chet, and I like that. I mean,
Yeah, and I think overall that will like balance
oh,
out over time with Chet's longevity going up.
right, but I mean, if you look at the grand scheme of things, like what they've contributed as a whole, I mean, I think that's kind of accurate as of right now. But obviously, I think things will change, and but I think I really like Lou Dort, and it's been amazing to see him become a guy that's played 5 years and become such an impactful player after not getting drafted. And I think it's a travesty he has not made an all defensive team, but he will. So next up, we have Shea Gilgis Alexander, superstar MVP candidate, one of the best players in the league. Acquired him from the Clippers in 2019. He's played 5 years, 304 games for the Thunder. In that time, he's averaged 26, a little over 5 rebounds, a little over 5 assists, 1.4 steals, almost a block in 34 and a half minutes. He shot 50 from the field, 34 and a half from three, 85 and a half from the line. Shea is one of the best players we've ever had, no doubt. He's one of the best players in the league right now. I think he will win an MVP. I think he will be the best player on a championship winning team. Um, it's been so amazing to see us acquire him and then him blossom into this superstar like this. Um, it's just so nice to have such a reliable player like this that you can count on day in and day out to lead your team and consistently score 30 plus. Um, it's been nice to see him even add things to his game over the years. Like this past season, he kind of had a consistent step back three and led the league in steals, and even had a stretch there where he was getting more and more blocks. So it's like he can kind of do it all, and it's so nice to have a player like that. I'm going to give him a 10 on stats.
Yeah, and I think his impact on winning is a 10 as well. And I think um, that was kind of shown in that stretch that he missed towards the end of the season when we had to play at Philadelphia without him, at Indiana without him, and that over that stretch we really struggled to get any sort of offense going. And so I think his impact on winning is amazing.
Personal opinion, I mean, he's one of my favorite players. He's probably my favorite player on the court. He's one of my favorite players off the court. Um, it's just he's such a fun player to watch. Just his footwork, his way he controls the game with the tempo of his game, the way he accelerates and decelerates, his shot making ability. Um, he's a plus defender. Um, he play makes. He understands his role. He, but also he doesn't have the added antics that a lot of superstars have as well on the court or off the court. He's professional. He keeps to himself. He does what he needs to do. He has that swag about him as well. That's fun. Um, and so every aspect of his game and just him as a guy is just so likable. I'm going to give him a 10 on here.
Longevity. He came over in the Paul George trade in 2019.
Yep.
He's under contract for a while longer on that extension. He'll be eligible for the super duper mega max soon. That's like going to be like 80 million or something. Um, but I think there is still room for the longevity score to increase. So I think having him right now at like a, let's see, we gave Dort a 7. So let's give Shea a 7.5.
I like that. Okay. Culture. I mean, he just obviously fits so well with everyone. Everyone respects him and enjoys being his teammate. And he's
Yeah.
fun, a great leader. And I mean, I think he's a 10 out of 10 on the vibes and what he brings. not only to the team but to the city and just as a representative for the whole organization on a national scale. It's just that's the kind of guy you want to represent your team and your organization. And he's a high character guy that backs it up on the court as well. So that is now our leading player at a 9.5. So next up and last guy we'll cover today is Mike Muscala. Now he's played 5 seasons with us. They weren't all in a row, I believe. Unless was there a season he didn't play for us at all?
It was we traded him at the trade deadline last season, so like in 2023, and then he didn't come back until, right after the trade deadline this season, like in March.
So
So
I guess
he's
he was a part of the team at some point every year, but
yes, yep.
there was a gap in there where he went to a few different teams.
Yeah, he
But
was in Washington, Detroit, and Boston.
right, and so he's been a part of 5 different seasons of teams, 184 games, 6.5 points, 3 rebounds, um, 13.5 minutes, shot almost 44 from the field, almost 39 from three. So, what do you give him on stats?
Um, let's see. I think his efficiency in his first stint was completely different than this past few games stint that he had. So, kind of looking past that, I think overall his stats were like a 6, might be fair.
Okay, he was a nice contributor for a while there.
Oh yeah, he had a huge role when we were pretty thin.
Right, and he was such a great shooter. Impact on winning. I mean, like some other guys, when he had his biggest role, we weren't really trying to win. He had a great game winner in the bubble. Um, don't know if we wanted to win that game, but it was great.
Yeah, that seems to be a controversial game winner.
But I mean, overall, I'm gonna give him a 4.5 here.
Personal opinion of Mike, I have a really high personal opinion of Mike because um, I don't know if you remember when he signed with us initially in free agency. Alec Burks also signed,
Mm-hmm.
and Sam basically said, "Hey, we traded Paul George. We're gonna probably offload Russ. The team's going in kind of a different direction. You can totally rethink your decision before coming here if you want." And Alec Burks is like, "Yeah, I'm gonna go off to Golden State where they'll compete." And then Mike's like, "I'm 2 feet in."
Yeah.
So I really appreciated that about Mike from the start. He always seems to be a good guy. He likes the Thunder. He cried in his post season interview. That definitely gained a lot of points. Um, let's give him an 8.5.
Sweet. Yeah, I love Mike. I mean, he's just a guy that like more than anyone, it's like that guy loves the Thunder. He loves Oklahoma City, and it's like for a guy that's been on so many teams and to talk this openly about how much he loves one team in particular and the time he's played there and lived there and one city, um, it's awesome to hear. And um, like I also just love how he just seems like a normal guy. Like he just has a LinkedIn where he connects with people and just whenever he joins a new team, he just adds it as like a job update. He's like, all right, basketball player for the Wizards from August whatever to this, and like he's retired and he's going to go to grad school, and it's just I love Mike, and he's a guy that some people have talked about that could end up being working in the Thunder front office with a lot of other former players. He just kind of seems like the type of guy. But longevity, I mean, it was nice to. I mean, he played a good stint there, but it was nice to see him come back for to finish his career. Um, I mean, I'm going to give him like a 6 here. I mean, he spent a good chunk of time here.
Culture. Mike's a really big culture guy. I think that's probably the main reason that we brought him back uh, as a free agent. Um, so let's give him a let's give him an 8.5.
Could I ask you if we can raise that?
Yeah, you want to raise that to a 9?
Yeah, I like that. I like that. Okay, so that gives Mike a 6.8. So that's all the players we're going to cover today. Is there a way I can like sort this?
Could you like click average score?
Ascending,
Oh,
descending. Okay, here we go. So this is the rankings so far.
awesome.
We have Shea number one, J Dub number two, Lou Dort number three, Chet number four, Aaron Wiggins number five, Jay Will number six, Isaiah Joe number seven, Josh Giddey number eight, Mike Muscala number nine, Kason Wallace number 10, Kenrich Williams number 11, Trey Mann number 12, Lindy Waters number 13, Vasilij Niциc number 14, Alexei Pokusevsky number 15, Bismack Biyombo number 16, Usman Jang number 17, Olivier Sarr number whatever number's next.
18.
18, Bertans, Hayward, Flagler, Keontae Johnson. So that's all the players that were on our team at some point last season. We'll continue this gradually. This is probably the most players we'll cover at one point at any time. But that was fun, and I'm excited to continue that. Um, any further thoughts on our rankings for today?
No, I think that was a good starting point. We
Yes.
knocked out a lot of players.
Yes, that was fun. So eventually, when we finish up, we'll have a listing of 1 to 152 on encompassing greatest players in Thunder history. So, um, yeah, that was really fun. Um, that was episode one. Hope you guys have enjoyed everything and listening. I know we kind of went long here.
Yeah. Sorry for keeping you.
You don't have to listen to all of it. I guess it's towards the end now, but we'll try to plan better in the future of how long we go on and how to time things better. But do you have any
Yeah,
parting
at this point,
thoughts?
we have the real Thunder junkies and our moms still listening.
Exactly. Well, I think that does it. We'll see you next time on Talkin Ball.
How do we